Hey, welcome back, Gem City Welding. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the channel. You guys just saw the last episode, which was convertible body mounts. Great questions, lots of people interacting, chatting with me about those things, wondering why you would do such a thing. Got a couple guys asking me, why would you do that without replacing the floor pan? In case you guys missed it, the floor pan on this car is getting replaced. All the body mounts, well, I shouldn't say all the body mounts, but a few of them, and then of course the cross braces, all that stuff's getting replaced. The reason this body right here is back on the frame like it is because of all the fabrication and custom metal work that I did to the frame. I needed to make sure that the body was going to fit properly before I do anything else to the car. You know, if it's like a house, if your foundation isn't right, you know, the walls and your roof aren't going to be right. And this car is no different. I wanted the frame right, suspension right, and in order to do that, you got to test fit these things and check them out. So yeah, so that was the last video, but again, thank you for watching. This video, so this is kind of been a long time coming. I've got a super duper top secret project I'm working on. It's a very special project, and you guys will see that in a future episode. But part of the reason for making this video is tool purchase right there. I'll flip this thing around and show you in just a minute. This channel's been all about investing in yourself. Get the stuff, do the stuff at home, do the best you can, you know, farm out what you have to, but just, you know, teach yourself a new skill, keep yourself going, you know, always learning. And this is no different. Part of this was more of a need than a want, or a want than a need, I guess, depending on how you look at it. I've always needed a press, and that's what I bought today, a 20-ton shop press. So you're gonna see assembly, review, and I don't know, maybe we'll put this thing through its paces. So grab yourself a frosty beverage. Those of you who haven't had one of these, perfect. Get yourself a frosty beverage, kick back, and enjoy the show as we do some assembly of that guy right there. So hang tight, enjoy the time lapse. Okay, so before we get to the time lapse portion of me unboxing this thing and start bolting it together, let me show you exactly what I got. Went to Harbor Freight. I know it's Harbor Freight, but hey, let's be honest, Harbor Freight's making some pretty decent stuff these days. Picked up a 20-ton shop press. It's 2 boxes. I'm imagining that's probably hardware and some other doodads that go with it. But I also picked up a 20-ton air hydraulic bottle jack. If anybody's followed along with like Swag Off-Road, Swag Automotive, I guess, I'm not really sure what they call their company, but long story short, they make adapters, fittings, all kinds of products for Harbor Freight products to make them more versatile for guys at home. And one of those things is, like, I wanted a air over hydraulic jack because I'm planning on building a press brake for this machine at some point. And even though this machine has a hand crank bottle jack, the air over hydraulic is going to speed things up significantly. Cost wise, the press ended up being like $2 1/4, I think, because I had a coupon. The air over hydraulic jack was kind of unique. They've actually stopped selling this model. The particular store I bought this one at had 3 left, and the salesman pretty much said, hey, you know, they're gonna make them again. It's just they're changing something about it. They might be changing the name from Pittsburgh to one of their other brands they offer, so they have to sell the remaining ones at a discount. So I picked up this guy right here for a cool 94 bucks, which isn't too bad. I think normally they're like $1.60 maybe. I'm just going off the top of my head. I really don't know. So, you know, I saved, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks on buying that deal. And in the long run, it's gonna make a huge difference because I'm not gonna have to hand crank the hell out of this thing 4,700 times on a panel. It's just aero over hydraulic. So we'll go over all that and put that through its paces. So yeah, I needed one for a long time, and now I finally bought one. So And that's kind of actually something else I want to talk about on the channel. You know, the lowrider thing has brought probably 99% of you here, and I'm grateful for that. I really, really am. But the title of this, you know, channel is Gem City Welding, and I do a lot of welding. I just don't show a whole lot of that on the channel. I want to get kind of into that fabrication work. Even though it may not be technically lowrider content, it's still part of the process. You got to learn how to use a scribe, how to use a hole saw, how to use a torch, how to use, you know, a TIG welder, all these things. It helps in building these cars and getting them right. So you're going to see some more of that on the channel pretty soon, coming up in the future. But in the meantime, we're going to put this guy together and talk about it even more. So now we'll do a time lapse. Hang tight. Okay, first impressions right off the bat. Packaged extremely well. I know that's not probably a super big deal for a lot of guys, but you know, at least it was well organized, easy to find everything. Second box ended up having the bolts and the standard pump jack that comes with the unit. And like I said, I'm upgrading to the air over hydraulic. That guy right back there. But everything looks good. Everything looks like it's here, you know. Quality wise, you know, I don't know. It's 225 bucks at the end of the day. And I priced the materials to build one of these myself. I've gone back and forth about it for probably 2 weeks. And at the end of the day, I said, you know what? There's enough aftermarket support for this machine to where I can justify buying this machine and just upgrading it from there. So in reality, it saved me a lot of time. Plus it was on sale. So I'm gonna start throwing this thing together. Hopefully it won't take too long. Bolt that hydraulic jack on. I might bring you back and go over that a little bit more in detail. So stick with me, here we go. Hey, something I wanted to know real quick. I went to open the hardware bag and this actually kind of surprised me. Everything, bolts, washers, nuts, everything's all screwed together. So there's not like 15 different bags hanging around, loose and stuff. Everything's, you know, together, and they're actually nylon locking nuts, so that's good to know. But just wanted to show everybody that kind of threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting that at all. All right, so that wasn't too painful. Pretty much went as expected. Mostly just me being a idiot looking for wrenches because it's not that I have anything against a metric system. I just don't have a whole lot of metric wrenches or sockets. And this one had these upper bolts here. Man, I don't even know what size those are, but not even close here at this house. So anyways, I'm gonna flip you around, show you the difference in the bottle jack and why I'm choosing to do the jack that I am. So here we go. All right, so I got my helper out here, my sidekick. He's in supervisor on duty, inspecting all my work. Anyways, so here you go. Left side is the one that comes with the machine, bottle jack on the left side. The right, this stupid thing, focus. The right side is the one I'm replacing it with. Obviously, it's way bigger, different. It's got springs, all that stuff. The springs on the right will actually be removed. I mean, I guess I could probably leave them in there, but there's a lot of people on YouTube that shown builds of doing these things, and they usually remove those springs. So I don't know, we'll see. But definitely a different size base, you know, size-wise. Considering, you know, it's got the air pump on the back and all that stuff. Well, let me see here. It's got so this would be where you hook your air supply, and it's got, you know, your air pressure supplying it to the machine. Pretty straightforward, really, pretty simple. But for me, it's going to significantly increase the speed of using this setup here. So I'll set you back up, get this bad boy installed, and we'll try and shoot some air to it. So hang tight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what I have here, in total disclaimer, anything I've done here, please do at your own risk. Just be careful, use common sense, don't hurt yourself. So it came with this small little jack here. Of course, I've upgraded to the air over hydraulic. There's a couple things in the instructions they want you to do about bleeding the system and doing all that. I've actually already went through all those checks. Something I'll tell you right off the bat that I've seen, I looked into this a lot, I researched it a lot, and there was quite a few complaints about the actual handles. So this handle here would have been for the air over hydraulic. It's kind of chintzy, I mean, it would work. The one that comes with the machine originally is actually, in my opinion, better quality, but this jack is designed to use like on the side of the road, you know, if you gotta lift up a truck or something, you know, incredibly heavy, more than like a standard size family vehicle. So it comes with a, you know, a breakdown handle, but it does come with a seal replacement kit should you ever, you know, have to rebuild this whole entire unit, which is pretty cool. Instructions are pretty straightforward. I will tell you the standard bottle jack that comes with this unit, this plate that the jack is sitting on has two drilled and tapped holes for bolts to bolt the jack to it. This jack does not have those holes, so I'm going to have to add those at some point, probably here pretty soon. There's still a few little fine adjustments that need to be made. It's highly recommended that this thing gets bolted to the floor, and as you can see, I just currently have it mocked up for demonstration purposes. The other thing that probably needs modified, and again, I saw this a lot before I made these purchases, is these pins. They can be pushed all the way through because there's nothing stopping them on the face, the front side. So, you know, welding a washer, welding a stopper on there, welding something, even if it's a small little, you know, tack on both sides of this pipe to prevent it from going all the way through would probably be ideal. So again, I've already bled the system. I'll show you. I think I've already closed the valve. Yeah. So yeah, here's the idea. Pretty straightforward. It's moving the ram. It's pumping it down. As you can see, it's quite the process to move this thing even an inch, and that's most likely because it's set up for a 20-ton. You know, you're not going to move a whole lot that heavy that fast. So the air over hydraulic is really where it's at. So I'll close the valve. This is hooked up to just a standard air hose, air compressor, nothing super fancy. It does have a locking switch, but like a little, basically like a little handle thing here. But this is the idea. I don't know about you, but that's a hell of a lot faster, and it's not going to take forever to pump this thing up, to put pressure on it. Go ahead and bleed the system off here, release the tension. I can actually hear the fluid inside. It's probably still got an air bubble or two, just from, in the instructions it talks about shipping, you know, things get moved around, jostled around on the way here, and so you have to bleed the system. But I will show you really the main reason why I bought this. I can't show you all of it, but I'll show you some of it. You'll see these coming up on the channel pretty soon. You know, this is nothing groundbreaking here. I know it's going to be old news for a lot of you who are into fabrication, but I've currently got a project that I'm working on that uses dimple dies. And basically, I wanted to be able to use the dimple die for this project, or with this machine, and not have to worry about hand cranking it so much. I can rely on the air to hydraulic to put, you know, sheet metal, aluminum, whatever it is that I need to put a dimple die in. I've got 3 different sizes. This is 1 inch. I think I got a 1/2 and a 3/4 inch. But basically they came off Amazon, super cheap. You know, a great starting point if you're trying to do this kind of fabrication work. And if you're not sure what a dimple die is, we'll show you here in a minute. I'll try to make one on the machine. But basically, it's a hole that helps lighten up whatever material you're working with. But it also, you know, deforms and compresses the metal around the dimple itself, the hole, to help add strength and rigidity. So it's really common in like the aircraft industry. Race cars, obviously. I even say like probably like monster truck stuff, I would think. Like, I'm just throwing a, you know, wild guess out there, but anywhere you can apply this to save weight, to add rigidity, strength to a piece, dimple dies are where it's at. So I'm gonna actually get a piece of aluminum here, and I've got speed drill bits that I'm gonna drill a hole in, and we'll get everything set up. And we'll try to put a dimple in the metal. So stick with me. We'll be right back. All right. So what we got here is a piece of scrap aluminum. I've already made some dimple holes in it previously. This was actually done with the dimple. It's the die itself and just a 5-pound mallet on something soft on the floor. I just wanted to see, you know, if it could be done by hand, and truth be told, it can be done by hand. But once you start getting up into like these 1 inch, you know, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches, 2 inch, you're gonna want some pressure behind it. Just for reference, in case anybody cares, this sheet of aluminum measures in at 0.078. So it's not super thin and, you know, not super thick. For this test, it's just right. So what we got here, I've already opened up the hole for a 1 inch die, which is an actual 1 inch hole. Got the die set up. And before I forget, the other thing is, if you buy one of these machines, be careful. These black platform pieces here that, you know, used for like bearing press or straightening something, this stuff is really slippery. It can, you know, it can move around. So one of the common modifications is to actually, you know, weld an edge onto this surface here. That way they can't slide off. And then if you ever need to put bigger pieces, you simply just take this out and flip it around. It's that simple. So this will be the first time on the machine, so bear with me. I don't know how well it's going to go. They recommend that you lube these dies. This one's actually already got some lube on it. So it's just as simple as placing the die in the machine, placing it underneath the center of the ram. Now what you're going to see is I'm going to press this thing down, and it's going to deform the metal, and then it's as it continues to apply pressure, it's actually going to straighten the metal. Okay, so this is aluminum, it's pretty soft. So let me go ahead and get this process started. So here we go. Okay, so let me bring you guys in. Sorry about that, guys. Compressor kicked on. You wouldn't be able to hear a damn thing with it running. So there's the idea. The die itself is flat, completely flat. I don't know if you were able to notice in the video, but it did form some shape to it and then straighten back out. So I'm gonna set you guys back up here. I'll relieve the pressure and we'll take a look at what we got. So just go ahead and remove the pressure from the cylinder. Yeah, so there it is. That right there, that's a 1-inch dimple. Really nice. Just, you know, first glance, looks really good. You know, a lot of this stuff's gonna be a learning curve for me just as much as it would be for you guys at home, but of course you would probably wanna deburr this before doing the dimple die using a, you know, some kind of a die grinder or sandpaper, or one of those deburring tools that you can get. But that looks pretty good. I'm really impressed with that. Not too bad. So, in a nutshell, I'm into this thing for like, what, $325, something like that, you know, taxes and whatever. It's not exactly the cheapest thing in the world to use and to do, but it gets the job done. So let me get straightened up here and then I'll have some final thoughts for you. So hang tight. Okay, so final thoughts on this whole entire machine, this whole process, everything I've showed you today. 100% badass. This thing is really cool. My brain is just racing on all the things that I can use it for. Lower control arm, like sleeves, pressing in bushings. I mean, the sky's the limit. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to showing it on the channel more. Like I said, I'm about $325 into this thing, give or take a couple bucks for taxes. It's not cheap, but in the long run, you know, it's worth, to me, it's worth every penny. So, I haven't done a speak on the topic in a while, so let's go ahead and do one of those real quickly. Those of you that are new to the channel, I used to do these quite often where I would, if I had a subject or topic on my mind that I just wanted to, you know, gauge the temperature of the room and see what everybody else thinks, and see if somebody else out there is on the same page as me, it would be, you know, we're on the topic of metal fabrication here and doing stuff like that with tooling. I'm constantly surfing YouTube. I love, there's so many shows on there I love watching, and you know, the idea that like cable networks and stuff, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable for a long time. I mean, probably a decade or more, and I don't miss it. There's plenty of content on YouTube and stuff like that, places like Instagram, that I love to watch people work and what they do. And if you ask me, the celebrity side of things is kind of, I'd rather watch guys like me, guys like you at home do this kind of stuff, and we all can learn something from each other. And if, you know, this YouTube thing's taught me anything, is that there's a lot of people out there that are extremely talented, that have something to offer you. If you just pay attention and watch what they're doing, and listen to them, that's key. And yeah, you may find a better way, an easier way, maybe even a safer way to do something. But at the end of the day, you're learning something from them. So with that being said, I've recently found a channel, and forgive me, I gotta get my my cereal box here out from the last video. This gentleman's channel's name is C. Burke Customs. I'll post down here somewhere, probably right there. His name, look him up, C. Burke Customs. He makes beach cruiser style, lowrider style, chopper style bicycles, and in some cases he makes electric bike, like a scooters. This guy, wow, what a badass. Great, seems like a great dude. I've asked him a couple questions. He's been right on it, answered my questions for me. Beyond that, we really haven't spoke, you know, much, but I feel like, you know, we're speaking the same language. He makes these custom bikes. He's taught himself to TIG weld. He's bought all these tools. He's made tools. Even if you're not into the custom bike, like beach cruiser, like, you know, 26, 29 inch bicycles, there is something to learn from him. He's very knowledgeable, very well-spoken, and he can explain things where guys like even me can understand them and apply them to things that I'm doing here at home. So with that being said, check out his channel, give him a like, give him a follow. He's got way more followers than I have, so this isn't like me trying to help him or nothing like that. It's just me telling you about this guy, and he's a cool dude, so check him out. And tell him Gym City Welding sent you, and yeah, check out what he's doing. So, as always, if you have any questions about today's topic and what we discussed, or something else you want to see on the channel, or you'd like to see me do with this machine, please let me know. shoot me a message. Let's get that conversation started. And as always, please like, share, subscribe. Tell everyone what we're doing here. Look for more content to come. And again, as always, thank you so much for your support. Nothing but love for all of you. So take care, peace, and we'll see you next time.